The agreements do not relate to sovereignty, they relate to things that affect the day-to-day lives of citizens on both sides of the frontier and which have been long-standing political obstacles to better relations. They are agreements relating to telecommunication link problems that we have historically between Gibraltar and Spain. There are problems to do with the pension rights of Spanish ex-workers in Gibraltar. There are issues about the fluidity of the frontier between Gibraltar and Spain. And then there will be an agreement that will allow Gibraltar's airport to be more widely used for the benefit both of Gibraltar and of the people of the neighbouring Spanish region. Democratic politicians have an obligation at least to engage in dialogue about their problems and about their differences, rather than just fight pitched battles against each other whilst not talking to one another. That's what I think this process responds to. Of course, Spain still believes that the sovereignty of Gibraltar should be transferred to her by the United Kingdom, regardless of the wishes of the people of Gibraltar. We think that that is a wholly un-European and undemocratic aspiration by Spain. Our aspiration remains the normal democratic one, and that is that the future of this small country can only be decided by its own people, and that clash remains unresolved.
We were born here, right? And then we like to be British, right? Doesn't mean to say that we hate the Spaniard, no. We're friends of the neighborhood here, but the problem is that we want to carry on being British. That's all.
I maintain myself in thinking that this is beneficial for the whole of both communities, and it is high time that we look further from our noses and see Spain as a future in our economic gain, rather than maintain a total British stance. And my own personal view is that it is high time that we view things with a different attitude.
Spanish airlines have been free, as far as the Gibraltar government is concerned, to operate services between Gibraltar and Spanish airports. Always. We have never been the obstacle to that. It's the Spanish government that has prohibited them from doing so. So this agreement will facilitate the Spanish government lifting that ban that it imposes on its airlines, and indeed on other countries' airlines operating between Gibraltar and Spain.
Vamos, dale.
But when people come to Gibraltar, or when they first see a Gibraltarian, if you say you're Gibraltarian, they ask you, what do you want to be, English or Spanish? So the first thing they think of is politics. Yes, Gibraltar's always been very political. Many peoples have been wanting to capture Gibraltar for one reason or another. But there's a lot more to Gibraltar than just politics and a main street, a bunch of apes. There's a lot of history, there's a lot of very unique attractions, and there's a lot of stories that could be told that have absolutely nothing to do with politics.
We've been talking about this for a very, very long time, and certainly what's happening now reflects what this particular government set out when it first came to government back in 1996. But of course, in Gibraltar, we're always worried about the detail, So everyone's basically holding their breath and waiting to see what the detail of this agreement will be. I think now people are convinced that there's likely to be an agreement. It's taken a long time, there's been a lot of odd delays and so forth. It should have happened a year ago, but I think we're there now.
Tienen esa cultura de un porcentaje muy alto español y un porcentaje muy alto británico. Y la verdad, incluso hasta en el propio idioma, ¿no? Si hablamos con ellos, utilizan frases entre española y más que española, andaluza, ¿no? Y también frases inglesas, ¿no? Incluso hasta en los mensajes que dan a nivel publicitario, ¿no? Es una mezcla, una mezcolanza que yo creo que no se da en ninguna de las colonias que tiene el gobierno británico. Se da aquí de una forma muy especial, pero lo que sí tengo claro es que ellos tienen sus raíces muy adentro, dentro del peñón, dentro del propio peñón de Gibraltar. Y eso hay que respetarlo.
I don't think anyone should be a colony in this day and age, and I don't think that anyone should want to carry on being a colony in this day and age, and certainly we do not want to carry on being a colony. And indeed, that is one of the things that Spain and Gibraltar agree about, that a colony in Europe is an anachronism, and that Gibraltar should be decolonized. The problem is that we disagree about the principle to apply in that decolonization. We say that the principle that can be that must be applied, indeed the only principle that can be applied, both in political terms and in international legal terms, is the principle of self-determination, namely that people of a colonial territory decide what they want their decolonized status to be.